Hey everybody, it's Tamara coming to you with another encouraging word. As you can see, my name is changed to T Speaks with His Glory. Just decided to change it up. God is doing so much and He's doing a new thing in my life, and I've embraced it. And, I'm just grateful every day for every day. And so He's doing a new thing in a lot of the lives of His people. And so the content will still be the same, encouraging, uplifting, transparent videos, as the Lord leads me to be a blessing to others. And so in my world, Christ will always come before culture every day, 365. There's no change. And so the topic of this video is don't despise your Judases. Don't despise them. There is no purpose without pain. Pain births purpose. And so, I was at work just thinking about the things that I think about sometimes, the why. And then I thought to myself, I even kind of put myself in check. Well, Judas needed Jesus. Scratch that. Jesus needed Judas. And on another note, Joseph needed his brothers. Two different extremes, but the betrayal that both experienced led them to their greatest purpose in their time in history. We all know that Judas's betrayal, ended up with Jesus being caught and taken to be put on the cross. It was in God's plan, and God set it up that way. And Judas was a part of that plan for that purpose, for God to save us. And so we should all be grateful for that Judas and also grateful for the Judases in our lives, because, God does everything happens for a reason, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When I think about Joseph, I've been digging a lot more in Joseph's life. And, when you think about how his family did him, when you think about Potiphar's wife, when you think about how long he endured what he endured, and for him to come out of the pit to the palace, literally from a pit, to a palace, just to be just the head of the head of the head of things. And for his brothers to come back to him after they've done what they've done to him, to forgive him, because in the end he knew that if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be, in the place he was in that dispensation in time. His destiny was to be able to be in the palace during that time so he can save his people during the famine. And so, we all have a purpose. Sometimes we don't know that purpose, and sometimes there are situations where, we're wondering and we're trying to figure out our purpose, and we're praying and we're praying and we're praying, and God is like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go on this purpose journey. And things are happening and you're like, what's going on? It's kind of like an earthquake, so much is going on. And as you get closer to God and you begin to research and you just begin to pray, and you're fast and you're spending more time with Him, and you're spending time in the Word, you're getting closer to Him, that the shaking and the tough times and the betrayals and the backstabbing and the unimaginable things that you just can't believe that this person has done or that person has done, or how this is happening or that is happening, it's leading you to that purpose. And I've learned to not despise it, because you'll despise, as humans, we'll despise people, and we're like, why would you ever do that? Or, you just can't believe that this person would fold, or, this situation would happen, or the things in our life that cause the greatest pain is what births your purpose. So it's just a quick note to just encourage you that if you're going through a Joseph season, if you're going through a Job season where things are just happening, as Job says, my greatest fear has come upon me, just know that all these things are happening because it's a shaking. God is saying it's time. It's, as a woman, those of us that have given birth to children, when those contractions start, that pain, signals it's time. And in the spirit, when we're going through these tough trials and it's shaking and it's so much pain, they're just like contractions, as God is saying, it's time. It's time. As each contraction gets stronger, your spouse leaves you. Contraction, it's time. Your friends walk away from you. Another contraction, it's time. Someone in your family deeply, someone you just love so much, you're so close to die. Contraction, it's time. You go to work and one day they tell you you're laid off. Contraction after contraction. Sometimes as you get closer and closer and closer, you think, why is so much happening back to back to back? And I've been there every year, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, back to back to back. I'm getting hit. But just as a woman in those contractions getting closer and closer and closer, now they go from 20 minutes apart to 10 minutes apart to 5 minutes apart to 1 minute apart. That is coming, that baby is coming. And the same thing in the spirit, when those contractions are back to back to back to back to back, that purpose, that destiny, that blessing, that where God is trying to get you, you're almost there. And I have to remind myself, Tamara, you're almost there. It's almost time to push and birth that purpose. Don't give up. It's tough. Yes, you're tired. Yes, you work 7 days a week. Yes, now as a single mom, you struggle with your teenagers, because now those of us that have teenagers, it's real. Contractions. You can take them contractions, and you're taking them, and you're taking them, and you're taking them, because I'm ready. I am ready. When I tell you this labor, when you're laboring, you're like, oh, come on, baby, come on, I'm ready. I'm ready to see you. I'm ready to hold you. I'm ready to embrace you and enjoy you. And the same thing in the spirit. If we look at these pains and these trials as those contractions in the birthing process, and we'll have our moments when we cry because those contractions hurt. But then you think of the greater pain that once those contractions subside and the baby comes out, it's like, yes, look at you. And the same thing in the spirit, we'll be saying, yes, when you're walking in your destiny, when you're doing what God has called you to do, when your beauty has come for all those ashes, you're like, now I see. God, I thank you for holding my hand during the labor, for being my coach, for telling me how to breathe, for telling me how to do what I need to do to get through this labor, to birth this beautiful thing that you have destined for me to do. So hold on. Keep going. Them contractions hurt. I know they hurt. We as women, we know. And if men are watching this, them things hurt. But you got to keep pushing. You got to keep going. You got to keep breathing. Do what you need to do to birth that purpose. It is so beautiful. And I'm holding on. And I'm holding on, and I'm in that process, but I know it's going to be beautiful, and I can smile because I can see it. It's like a crowning. I can see the crowning, and I'm just so excited, and I'm trusting God in this season, in every season, even more so in this season, because He's been there for me, and He's still there for me, and so I'm grateful. So hold on, and just know that those pains, those contractions subside, and the most beautiful thing in the spirit is about to be birthed in you, from you. So be encouraged, be blessed, and I'll see you next time.